Today marks the first year of our administration. Today, amid the fear and confusion brought about by this COVID-19 pandemic, we still live in a safe and united province. An enduring Oriental Mindoro, a resilient people finding strength in unity, and the provincial government whose union is grounded on its faith in God and its people. Affected and deterred by this pandemic, we shall not be overwhelmed, for we know and pledge that we shall overcome. As I stand before you as the Vice Governor of the province after a year, and as we all stand before all of you as members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, we would like to assure the people of Oriental Mindoro that we take our vows of service sacred. The people of this province shall come first. Unified as we are in that promise, we shall stand tall, and with courage and optimism, we shall focus on the future. Isang lalawigan, isang mamamayan, isang bagong kinabukasan. Sa kasalukuyan ay nabubuhay tayo sa panahon ng pambihirang pagbabago. Ang buo nating pamumuhay, ang ating pagkilos at paggawa, sampu ng ating mag-anak at ng ating lipunan ay nagbabago. Ang ating mundo, kasama ang ating mga nakaugaliang patakaran, ay pangkalahatang nagbabago din. Mga kasamahan, unti-unting nagbabago ang mundo. At para sa nakakarami, ay masakit tanggapin, hindi lamang ang panganib ng hindi nakikitang kalaban, kung hindi ang hirap ng sagot sa mga katanungang saan kukuha ng pangbukas. Lalo itong pinahirap kung wala ka namang maisagot habang nakatingin sa mata ng iyong mga magulang o ng mga anak. Subalit hindi natin dapat hayaang tayo'y talunin o panghinaan man ng mga pagbabagong ito. Bagkus dapat ito ay maging hamon. Dapat itong magbigay ng panibagong lakas, panibagong pananaw, at panibagong buhay. Isang panibagong kinabukasan para sa ating lahat. None of us can predict with certainty what the future holds for us. But there is one thing I am certain. I know that all the members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan is aware that there is much work to be done. There is pandemic to fight, children to mold, students to guide, seniors to support, and families and communities to protect. It is therefore a moment of extra pride and fulfillment for me personally, and assuredly for every member of this Sangguniang Panlalawigan, that with the guidance and steerage of Governor Bons Dolor, we can still, after 12 months, share our accomplishments. This, despite the odds brought about by this global calamity. To date, we have conducted 48 regular sessions, 3 special sessions, and 43 committee hearings. We have enacted 12 provincial ordinances and 39 appropriation ordinances, and passed 456 resolutions. We have adopted 463 committee reports, and presently considering on the committee level 17 proposed ordinances and 61 proposed resolutions. We have passed 46 resolutions granting authority to the provincial governor to enter into MOA or MOU. We have reviewed and acted upon 240 local ordinances and resolutions. We have also accredited 39 civil society organizations. Please note that these accomplishments were motivated by the necessity of our people and our communities. We have been prompt and on time in the enactment of 2019 Supplemental Budget Number 2, Supplemental Budget Number 3, and Supplemental Budget Number 4 for the province. We have also promptly authorized the 2020 General Fund Annual Budget of the provincial government, to which an amount of more than 1.8 billion shall be appropriated for the general fund, while 13.8 shall be for the butika ng lalawigan ng Oriental, Mindoro. We likewise approve 2020 Supplemental Budget Number 1 amounting to more than 383 million. Governor Bons, from the beginning of our term, ipinakita na po ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ang napakalaking suporta sa inyong administrasyon o sa ating administrasyon sa pamamagitan ng pagpapasa sa napakadaling panahon, minsan ay isang sesyon na ipapasa ang budget ng provincial government nang sa ganon ay hindi mahadlangan ang ating gagamiting gastos para sa pag-unlad ng ating lalawigan. Again, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng miyembro ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Maraming salamat sa inyong kooperasyon. Malaking role ang ginagampanan ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan sa pag-unlad ng isang lalawigan. Most importantly and immediately after the passage of a resolution declaring the existence of a state of calamity in the entire province of Oriental Mindoro to protect its inhabitants from, fight the spread of, and remedy the COVID-19 pandemic, and provide for the utilization of the quick response funds of the LDRRMF, the 2020 Supplemental Budget Number 2 was passed by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan amounting to 116,236,183 pesos. Sa pamamagitan ng pagpapasa nito, sinigurado natin dito sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan na mayroon tayong nakalaang pondo na magagamit sa patuloy nating laban sa COVID-19 crisis. 7 million para sa mga PPEs na gagamitin para sa protection ng mga health workers at iba pang frontliners. 2 million para sa mass testing kits upang maging handa ang lalawigan sa patuloy na pagtugon sa mga kaso ng COVID-19. 4.3 million para sa gamot, bitamina at medical supplies. 200,000 para sa disinfecting supplies. 45 million para sa repair and construction ng mga karagdagang mga pasilidad. 1.4 million para sa renta sa mga sasakyang naghahatid ng specimen at ng mga frontliners. 12.7 million para sa tent, gasolina at pagkain ng mga nagbabantay sa mga checkpoints at sa mga port of entries ng lalawigan. 18.7 million para sa iba pang mga gastusin ukol sa pamamahala sa COVID-19 response at 43 million para sa relief operations na isinagawa sa lalawigan. To further our fight against this pandemic, we have approved COVID time legislative measures as follows. We have enacted during the period of national health emergency and a state of calamity the compulsory use of face masks, cloth masks in the implementation of the enhanced community quarantine in the province. In our effort to destigmatize and discourage the wrong impression of people of the disease, we have addressed not only the medical issue, but the moral issue as well. We have penalized all forms of discrimination against any person under the category of suspect, probable or confirmed case of any communicable or infectious disease, or against medical or non-medical, public and private, actively serving the province. To address the public clamor for more testing prior to the recent establishment of our very own testing centers, we have recommended to all city and municipal government units to acquire and utilize rapid test kits in the absence of RT-PCR as the first line or primary defense against COVID-19. This move shall facilitate the speedy management and identification of cases which may be used as a guide for action, whether for work or actions, for isolation or quarantine, or as precautionary measure. We feel it is necessary against the increasing number of COVID-19 patients in the province. This shall, of course, be subject to full compliance with the revised policy on COVID-19 testing procedures issued by the IATF and all applicable laws, rules, and regulations. We have requested our governor to direct the Provincial Agriculture Office and the Provincial Veterinary Office to conduct a thorough and regular inventory of all food and foodstuff products and supplies. And the result of the initial baseline survey be submitted to the SP on or before May 30, 2020. This data shall serve as one of our bases in formulating relevant legislative measures to ensure food sufficiency in the province within the remaining months of calendar year 2020. We have also enjoined all city, municipal governments to encourage all grocery stores, supermarkets, pharmacies, and other essential establishments within their respective territorial jurisdiction to extend their store hours from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. or to operate on an extended schedule of store hours in accordance with all applicable laws, rules, and regulations, and to provide priority lanes to frontline workers in recognition and appreciation to their significant contribution in the fight against COVID-19 in the province of Oriental Mindoro. We have also requested the House of Representatives, the Senate of the Philippines, and the DSWD to consider the inclusion of barangay officials in the social amelioration program. We have also recommended to the Governor, the Oriental Mindoro PDRRMC, and the League of Municipalities of the Philippines, Oriental Mindoro Chapter, to modify the liquor ban in the province by allowing the selling and buying of liquor, but the consumption of the same in public places shall still not be allowed. Minarapat rin ng kapulungang ito na ipasa ang isang ordinansang magpapahintulot sa 100% condonation ng penalties at interest ng hindi nababayarang real property taxes para sa first and second quarter ng kasalukuyang taxable year. Sa ilalim ng ordinansa, maaaring ma-avail ng kondonasyon hanggang September 20, 2020. Ito ay upang tulungan ang mga taxpayer sa paghihirap na dulot ng kawalan ng hanap buhay sa panahon ng pandemya. Matatandaan nung una na ipinasa ng kapulungang ito noong March 16, 2020, ang isang ordinansang nagdideklara ng real property tax amnesty sa lahat ng lupa, building at iba pang real property sa lalawigan ng Oriental Mindoro maliban sa lungsod ng Calapan. Sa ilalim ng ordinansa, maaring ma-avail ng taxpayer ang 100% condonation ng penalties, interest at surcharges para sa hindi nababayarang buwis mula fiscal year 2019 at mga nakaraang taon. Ang nasabing tax amnesty ay maaring ma-avail ng delinquent real property taxpayers simula May 1, 2020 hanggang November 30, 2020. Binibigyan din natin ng karampatang halaga at proteksyon dito sa ating lalawigan ang kalagayan at kaligtasan ng ating mga bata, matatanda at ang mga may kapansanan. Ito ay isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit inamyendahan ang revised Children's Welfare Code at Provincial Educational Assistance Program upang mas palawigin ang sakop ng scholarship program sa ilalim ng pang-alalay sa edukasyon component ng PEAP. Hiniling din natin sa ating mahal na gobernador, Governor Bons Dolor, at sa lahat ng punong syudad at bayan ng Oriental Mindoro na matiyak ang ganap at patuloy na pagsunod sa Republic Act 10524 sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng pantay na mga pagkakataon sa trabaho para sa mga kwalipikadong persons with disabilities. Hiniling din natin sa Department of Budget and Management sa pamamagitan ng Resolusyon 4925 ang halagang 1,000,000 piso para sa pagpapabuti ng proyektong Oriental Mindoro Youth Center bilang isang priority program tulong sa mga lokal na unit ng pamahalaan. Upang matulungan ang ating mga kababayan sa pagbili ng gamot, pagbabayad ng hospital bills, pagpapalaboratory test, at iba pang pang-medical na pangangailangan, ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan ay naglaan ng 2.9 million na halaga ng medical assistance mula July 2019 hanggang December 2019 at karagdagang 600,000 sa ilalim ng Supplemental Budget number 4 2019 at 2.9 million din para sa January 2020 hanggang July 2020 at karagdagang 965,000 sa ilalim ng Supplemental Budget number 1 2020. Ginawaran din ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ang maraming schools, barangays at mga accredited civil society organization ng financial assistance na may kabuuang halaga na 7.8 million upang maisakatuparan ang kanilang mga proyekto. Knowing that our future is inseparably linked to the education of our children, this Sangguniang Panlalawigan believes and gives primary importance to the education of all. We have appealed to the President, the Senate, and House of Representatives, and to all concerned agencies to establish a national technology high school in our province. The school will offer junior and senior high school education to be located in the 2nd District of Oriental Mindoro. We also appealed for the establishment of a national state college to be located in the municipality of Pinamalayan. This school will provide undergraduate courses and serve as a receiver school for public high school graduates. We have also underscored our appeal for the establishment of the Oriental Mindoro TESDA National Training Academy to be located in the municipality of Gloria. The school will provide technical and vocational training and skills development programs for our out-of-school youths, and at the same time, provide skilled labor force for the province. Another appeal that was made was for the establishment of an additional PUP campus in the municipality of Pinamalayan that shall be accessible to students from Mindoro, Marinduque, and Romblon Islands, to be known as the PUP Mimaropa Regional Campus. After a year's continued work and effort of the provincial government, the local public transport route plan of the province was finalized. It was approved by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan on January 20, 2020. The LPTRP, which would dictate the flow of the province public transport system until year 2023, has been envisioned to invigorate the island's connectivity by promoting development programs in improving accessibility and transport system that shall develop the province as a premier agro-ecotourism destination. We have petitioned the Philippine Ports Authority to temporarily suspend the implementation of the guidelines on the imposition of weighing rate for containers and ro-ro vehicles with respect to covered vehicles to and from the province. We have appealed to the DOTC, DTI, and Marina to expeditiously adopt, promulgate, and implement a maritime passenger bill of rights, particularly on all passenger vessels operating in the ports of Oriental Mindoro and the Mimaropa region. Sa pagsulong ng ating pagsisikap na mabigyan ng tinig ang mga kapuspalad at proteksyon sa mga taong madaling pagsamantalahan, binibigyan natin ang ating mga kapatid na mangyan ng pantay na pagkakataon sa pag-unlad. Ating hiningi sa NEDA ang pagtatatag ng isang mangyan Heritage and Cultural Center of Oriental Mindoro para maisama bilang pangunahing proyekto sa ilalim ng Sustainable Goal Agenda. Ito rin ang aming ginawa sa pamamagitan ng isang resolusyon para sa pagtatatag ng isang Mangyan National Indigenous Cultural Communities, Indigenous People Health Center Program na itatayo sa mga bayan ng Mansalay at Bulalakaw, pati na rin ang pagbuo ng isang Mangyan Indigenous Cultural Communities, Indigenous People Crafts and Livelihood Center and Program sa parehong dalawang bayan. Being a constant point of discernment in the province, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan opted to proactively approach the issue of energy and Ormeco. The administration of Ormeco was invited by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan on a regular session on May 27, 2020, and public hearing on June 23, 2020, to clear and resolve the people's problems regarding the rotational brownouts and the issuance of a statement of accounts with exorbitant amounts being billed to consumers. Matapos ito, ipinasa ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ang isang kapasyahan na nagbibigay direktiba sa Ormeco upang magsagawa ng actual meter reading at magpadala ng panibagong singil kung saan makikita ang actual consumption per kilowatt hour, ang tamang halaga na babayaran at installment schemes alinsunod sa Energy Regulatory Commission's revised guidelines for all distribution utilities. In a similar action to diffuse and avoid these periodic power failures, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan passed a resolution endorsing the proposed application for emergency power purchase of Ormeco for a 10 megawatts net capacity diesel modular power plant. On October 18, 2019, a hearing was conducted by the Committee on Agriculture to undertake the issue about the implementation of the rice tariffication law and the health issue relative to the African swine fever. We have requested the Tourism Infrastructure and Enterprise Zone Authority to allocate funds for the effective implementation of tourist rest areas and souvenir stops, projects in identified locations in the province. We have also approved the Provincial Development Investment Program, or the PDIP 2020 to 2022, Annual Investment Program of the Provincial Government of Oriental Mindoro. Likewise, we have also approved the Executive Legislative Agenda 2019 to 2022 of the Provincial Government. Karaniwang kaalaman ng lahat na ang ating lalawigan ay nasa landas ng mga bagyo. Taon-taon dumaranas tayo ng malalaking kawalan, pagkasira at pinsala dahil sa likas na mga kalamidad na ito. Upang maging laging handa, pinasimulan at pinangunahan ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ang mga aktibong panukala at hakbang upang matugunan ang problemang ito. Noong December 3, 2019, ang lalawigan ng Oriental Mindoro ay ipinasailalim sa state of calamity upang makapagbigay ng proteksyon, serbisyo at tulong sa mga biktima ng bagyong Tisoy. Kung inyong natatandaan, naranasan din natin sa bagyong iyon ang malubha at nakapanlulumong pinsala na nakakaapekto sa halos lahat ng tao sa ating lalawigan. Sa isang maingat na paghahanda, inatasan ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ang PDRRMO upang agad na maghanda at magsumite ng isang 5-year Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management and Contingency Plan para sa mga taong 2020 to 2024. Nahahanda ito para sa epidemya, bagyo, lindol, baha, sunog at iba pang mga kalamidad na maaring mangyari sa ating lalawigan. Sa karagdagang paghahanda, hiniling din namin sa GSIS na magbigay ng emergency loans sa ilalim ng Calamity Loan Program nito sa lahat ng mga kwalipikadong miyembro sa lahat ng lungsod at bayan ng Oriental Mindoro na naapektuhan ng bagyong Tisoy at Ursula noong December 2019. Ito pa ay pinalawig ang panahon hanggang March 31, 2020. We have reaffirmed through the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Resolution 3357-2016 as stated, resolution affirming the interests of the Provincial Government of Oriental Mindoro to avail of the People's Survival Fund, lodged before the Climate Change Commission for the implementation of the community-driven disaster risk mitigation, combined with sustainable agroforestry along the Oriental Mindoro fault lines. Sa aspeto ng kalusugan, serbisyo at kapaligiran, minarapat ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan sa pamamagitan ng isang resolusyon na ituon ang pananaw sa karapatan at kaligtasan ng tao. Anuman ang antas sa lipunan, magsasagawa ng isang pagsusuri at inspeksyon sa mga provincial detention centers upang mapabuti ang pamamahala sa mga kulungan, mapagtibay ang isang pantay na karapatan sa katarungan, at matugunan ang mga kondisyon ng mga bilanggo sa lalawigan. Gagawin din ang hakbang at alituntuning ito sa lahat ng provincial hospitals at sa iba pang mga pasilidad ng kalusugan. Ito ay naglalayong pagbutihin ang pamamahala ng mga pasilidad ng ospital at tugunan ang pangangailangan sa laging pangangalaga sa kalusugan ng mga mamamayan. Ito ay isang karagdagang hakbang sa pagtataguyod ng kapakanan ng mga mamamayan ng Oriental Mindoro. Ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan ay magiging mas mapanuri at mapagmatsyag sa mga aplikasyon para sa quarry operation sa lalawigan upang mas lalong maibayo ang proteksyon sa kapaligiran at pagsugpo sa iligal na pagmimina. Kasabay ang pangkalahatang pagsisikap na palakasin at panatilihin ang pag-unlad ng ekonomiya sa lalawigan. Kaya sa unang 100 araw, ipinasa ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ang isang ordinansang magsususpinde sa lahat ng commercial sand at gravel activities sa lalawigan. Sa loob ng 30 araw hanggang matapos ang inventory evaluation at appraisal ng mga issued permits. Alinsunod sa pagpapalawak ng kaalaman para sa lahat ng kasapi ng lahat ng sanggunian sa lalawigan. Pinondohan at inorganisa ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ang CapDev 2019 o ang Capability Building Seminar towards Effective Local Legislation noong November 6 to 8, 2019 at dinaluhan ito ng 90% ng mga miyembro ng Sangguniang Bayan at Sangguniang Panlungsod sa buong lalawigan. Ang CapDev 2019 ay kaugnay ng programang Continuing Studies on Local Legislation ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan sa pakikipagtulungan ng DILG at Philippine Councilors League Provincial Chapter. Ito ay naglalayong mabigyan ng makabagong kaalaman at kasanayan ang mga kasapi ng lokal na sanggunian ng lalawigan dito sa Oriental Mindoro sa pag-aakda, pagpapasa, pagrebisa ng mga lokal na resolusyon at mga ordinansa. We could go on as there is much to report in spite of the problems of present times, but we opt to say less and do more. That we are now in the midst of a serious crisis is an understatement. There is so much to be done, but all is not lost, for every member of this Sangguniang Panlalawigan is willing and able to make sacrifices, all in the sincerest effort to alleviate the people of Oriental Mindoro of their fears and struggles. In our plan to maximize our effectiveness to help, we have chosen to be one with the people. We intend to visit and indeed visited as much barangays as we could during this pandemic, especially the farthest and the most isolated. Those distant areas, as we know, are not usually reached by public service. This way, all of us in the Sangguniang Panlalawigan is personally aware of the situation, the problems and the needs of each citizen. We shall then use our first-hand knowledge as the basis for the ordinances and resolutions we do in response to the people's needs and clamor. We also utilize our visits to the barangays during the state of calamity to acknowledge and meet our dedicated and courageous frontliners, whom we consider our new heroes today. Nung nakaraan pong 3 buwan, sa panahon ng pandemya, ang inyong pong lingkod ay malugod kong sinasabit, ibinabalita, na akin pong halos napuntahan ang lahat ng barangay. Hindi ko man ito nakumpleto. Minsan kasama ang mga sanggunian members, hindi ko man nakumpleto ang 1st district. Pero ang 2nd district ay akin pong nakumpleto. lahat ng barangay, 165 barangays, napuntahan po ng inyong Vice Governor, kasama ang dulong barangay ng Sabang sa Pinamalayan, ang barangay ng Buong Lupa at Merian sa Gloria, ang mga bundok na barangay ng Malo at Bato sa Bansud, ang Mapang at ang Batangan sa Bungabon, ang San Rafael at San Vicente o Tauga sa bayan ng Rojas, at pati na rin ang Waigan at ang mga dulong barangay ng Mansalay. Ganun din po sa Bulalakaw hanggang sa Maasin. Sa barangay ng Maasin na Tawid Dagat ay aming narating.